Wait 1 second, make sure I am recording. Okay. Hello and welcome back to TenkoBerry's book reading. Hopefully you are all doing a good today and staying safe. This is an episode of Fireplace Talks and Stories. In today's episode we're reading The Tale of Two Bad Mice by Beatrix Potter. And last episode we were reading The Tale of Mr. Jeremy Fisher. A book that I've not read in many years, I tell you. Not since maybe the early nursery days, you know. So that'd be a long time ago now. Alright, so the tale of two bad mice. So let us hop right in. As you know, previous, the page that you come into is all of the books that there is. And this book was published in 1904. This one that I have here is from 2006. Yeah, this one was made in 2006. The previous one was made back in 2002. It was a reprint. Alright, so let us hop right in. Once upon a time, there was a very beautiful doll's house. It was red brick with white windows and had real muslin curtains and a front door and a chimney. It was quite a nice house. It belonged to two dolls called Lucinda and Jane. At least it belonged to Lucinda, but she never ordered meals. Jane was a cook, but she never did any cooking. Besides, because dinner had been bought ready-made in a box full of shavings. Quite interesting. I don't remember having those in doll houses back in the day. There were 2 red lobsters. Ooh. And a ham. Dan, you eating good today. That's quite nice. A fish, a pudding, and some pears and oranges. Keeping your balanced diet there. That's a very nice, balanced diet with the red lobster and the fish. You really get a lot of calcium C and all that. Not bad. Same with the orange. But they were extremely beautiful. One morning, Lucinda and Jane had gone out for a drive in the doll's perambulator. We'll just say vehicle. There was no one in the nursery, and it was very quiet. Persistently, there was a little scuffling, scratching noise in the corner near the fireplace, where there was a hole under the skirting board. Tom Thumb put out his head for a moment, and then popped it in again. Tom Thumb was a mouse. I guess this is, these bad mouses, I tell you. From the picture of, the thumb, from the very, front of the book, it looks like they do some, bad cooking skills or something. A minute afterwards, Hunniker Muncher? Hunniker Muncher. I think that's what I'll call them. His wife put her head out too, and when she saw that there was no one in the nursery, she ventured out on the oilcloth under the coal box. Do apologise. The doll's house stood at the other side of the fireplace. Tom Thumb and Hunniker Muncher went cautiously across the rug. Sorry, I was trying to remember how to say the word there. They pushed the front door, and it was not fast. Yeah, they do kind of get a little bit stiff, you need a bit of WD-40 to get them swinging, perfectly smooth and pristine. Tom Thumb and Hunniker Muncher went upstairs and peeped into the dining room. Then they squeaked with joy. Such a lovely dinner was laid out upon the table. There were tin spoons and lead knives. Ooh. As I've always said, with how old certain Beatrix Potter books are, you really notice certain stuff that's quite unusual for modern day. Lead knives? Oh, lead knives are very bad for you. They can cause you to be super ill just by using them. It's because it gets into your hands and all that, and people didn't wash their hands properly, and still, it's not the best thing to have. That's why you don't cook with it either. And forks. Really, they have forks as well. Terrible, terrible. And 2 dolly chairs, also convenient. Tom Thumb set to work at once to carve the ham. It was a beautiful shiny yellow streaked with red. The knife crumpled up and hurt him. He put his finger in his mouth. It is not boiled enough. It is hard. You have to try. Hanukkah Muncher. Okay. Hanukkah Muncher stood up in her chair and chopped at the ham with another lead knife. It's as hard as the hams at the cheesemongers, said Hanukkah Muncher. The ham broke off the plate with a jerk and rolled under the table. Let it alone, said Tom Thumb. Give me some fish, Hanukkah Muncher. Okay, sorry. I was looking at the pictures there. Like, I was trying to figure out what one's standing, because they both look like they're standing on the chairs. Hanukkah Muncher tried every tin spoon in turn. The fish was glued to the dish. Then Tom Thumb lost his temper. He put the ham in the middle of the floor and hit it with the tongs and with the shovel. Bang, bang, smash, smash. The ham flew all into pieces, for underneath the shiny paint it was made of nothing but plaster. I tell you, dollhouses don't have real food. Then there was no end to the rage and disappointment of Tom Thumb and Hanukkah Muncher. They broke up the pudding and lobsters, the pears and the oranges. As the fish would not come off the plate, they put it into the red hot crinkly paper fire in the kitchen, but it would not burn either. It's all fake. It's a dollhouse. Even the fire's not real. How could they? How could they? Tom Thumb went up to the kitchen chimney and looked out at the top. There was no soot while Tom Thumb was up the chimney. Hanukkah Muncher had another disappointment. She found some tiny canisters upon the dresser labelled rice, coffee, sago. What's sago? I'm not sure. But when she turned them upside down, there was nothing except red and blue beads. Quite interesting. Then those mice set to work to do all the mischief they could, especially Tom Thumb. He took Jane's clothes out of the chest chest of drawers in her room, and then threw them out of the top floor window. Crazy. But Hanukkah Muncher had a frugal mind. After pulling half of the feathers out of Lucinda's bolster, she remembered that she herself was in one of a feather bed. That's what... Okay. Bolster. It's a bed. Okay, I get it now. With Tom Thumb's assistance, she carried the bolster downstairs and across the hearthrug. It was difficult to squeeze the bolster into the mouse hole, but they managed it somehow. Then Hanukkah Muncher went back and fetched a chair, a bookcase, a bird cage, and several small odds and ends. The bookcase and the bird cage refused to go into the mouse hole. Need to make it a little bit bigger. Hanukkah Muncher left them behind the coal box and went to fetch a cradle. Hanukkah Muncher was just returning with another chair when suddenly there was a noise of talking outside. Upon the landing, the mice rushed back to their hole and the dolls came into the nursery. They're getting pushed on their little... Okay, so it's like a pushable cradle for kids. That's what it is. What a sigh. Well, what a sight. Not sigh. What a sight met the eyes of Jane and Lucinda. Lucinda sat upon the upset kitchen stove and stared, and Jane leant against the kitchen dresser and smiled, but neither of them made any remark. The bookcase and the bird cage were rescued from under the coal box, but Hanukkah Muncher had got the cradle and some Lucinda's clothes. Aww. She's got, a baby mouse now in the cradle. A few baby mouses, actually. And she's wearing the clothes. Quite nice. She also has some useful pots and pans and several other things. The little girl that the doll's house belonged to said, "I will get a doll dressed like a policeman." But the nurse said, "I will set a mouse trap." So it's like a home where these girls are, They're getting nursed back to health or something, a hospital, that's it. Said, "I will get a mouse trap." So, that is the story of the two bad mice. But they were not so very, very naughty after all, because Tom Thumb paid for everything he broke. He found a crooked sixpence under a hearth rug, and upon Christmas Eve, he and Hanukkah Muncher stuffed it into one of the stockings of Lucinda and Jane. And very early every morning, before anybody is awake, Hanukkah Muncher comes with her dustpan and her broom to sweep the dolly's house. Oh, quite nice of them, Not really too bad mice, is it? And that is the end. So, hopefully you enjoy that. Have a nice day, safe, hope it's simple. Because it's very important and bye-bye. See you, thanks, and bye-bye.